Well, hello everyone. My name is Rick Passek, FlyFish Fanatic, and welcome to my tying bench. Today we'll be tying a little variant on a Cary Special. It's one I've been using for a little while. Switched up the materials a little bit over the last few years. Yeah, it's just another one of those fishing flies, right? I don't tie a lot of nice like art flies. I tie a lot of fishing flies, and this is definitely a fishing fly. So let's get going. So that's what we'll be tying, yellow butt Cary. Okay, so we're going to start off. Now I do tie them without the butt. Sometimes I'll tie them in like an orange as well, and sometimes I'll put a butt on it as well. But we're going to start off with a Hends BL724 in a size 10. And I'll put that in. I'm just going to move my vise just a bit, just to center that a little bit. Okay. I'm going to be using some black Nanosilk. And I'll be using the body rib from Semperfli. This is a new product. It just came out. They're calling it black. I think it's more green than black, but it's got black in it. So black. Let's call it black. And then I will be using some pheasant rump. This is actually a black pheasant that was harvested here in Alberta. And I got the feathers from some local person here that harvested it. It's got a really nice, it's kind of hard to see on the camera there. Hopefully maybe it'll come up once it's up on the YouTube channel, but it's got a really nice greeny blue fluorescence in the tips on this. So it'll go really nice with the with the body material. So okay, as always, wax your thread. This is a really good fly for pulling, for ripping and stripping. Really good fly for trolling, especially if you don't know the lake that you're fishing, and you're trying to get to know the structure and stuff. I always recommend to my newer students that are just learning how to fly fish that if you don't know the lake and you don't know, if you're not with somebody that knows the lake, just throw on a Cary, throw on a leech, throw on a spratly, throw on a searching pattern and troll around the lake, and then keep track of where did you see drop-offs, where did you see log piles, where did you see marl shoals, where did you just keep track of that, and then you can start paying attention to the hatches and figure out, okay, that's where I'm going to go head. I'm going to go head over, hey, there's a chironomid hatch, let's get over to that marl shoal. I saw a lot of shucks coming off there, let's go there, right? It's just a little bit of learning, right? So, tail, it's going to be some yellow floss. I take about 6 to 8 inches off of here, and then I'll fold it over, line up my tips, and then fold it over, and then fold it over again. That gets me a nice bushy tail. So that's what you end up with. Okay. So I'm just going to tie this in. I'm going to leave a little bit sticking out past like that, but I'm not going to go forward there. Just going to do open wraps on the way down here. Just get that tied in. Go under my tail. Oh, that didn't work. There we go. Keep going back a little bit further, a little bit further, and then under my tail, over my tail, under my tail. And when you're going under, make sure you pull forward towards the eye. That'll help lift that tail up. Okay. So now I'm just going to nip off this excess up front. Excuse my fingers. I want to get the majority of it. It doesn't have to be perfect because you're going to tie that all down anyway. And then this, I want about not quite the length of the body. So about there. And then what I like doing is I like taking the Velcro and just roughing that up. And then lay it back down and wet it a bit. Just fluffs it up a little bit. Go back forward, make sure that front end is tied in nicely. I'm going to stop there. And I take some of that, this is the black body rib, they call it. This stuff is really neat that they came out with. I mean, there's other brands have it as well, but the color range that Semperfli came out with is amazing. But you can actually pull this outer layer and pull the. Let's see if I can just start pulling it so you guys can see. You see, there's a black core in there. You can pull that black core right out of there, and then be left with either just the black core or the green outer, right? So in this case, I'm just going to leave it all together. Going to lay it right on top there, leaving myself some space at the front for my wing. Or my collar, actually, not a wing, but just right tight to that tail. Come on back. Let's get this nice and tight. The first wrap nice and tight, and then go forward. And one more. Yeah, one more. It'll do it. Yep. Tie that off. Bunch in front. Nip off my excess there. Just gonna pop that up just a bit there. So now I'm going to take my feather. I've already prepared it. I've taken the fluff and everything off, just so you guys can see. Like I said, this was harvested locally here. So, but here's a full feather with all the underbody, all the underfluff on it, right? And then into the, you can see the blue tips in there, just a little bit, the bluey green tips on that one. But yeah, and I keep some of this underfluff too. Sometimes I'll use this stuff as dubbing. Sometimes I'll even use it as tails and smaller, like a little marabou style tails and smaller flies. So, and then there's always one of these little feathers attached to it as well, right? It's almost always attached to the back. And these are really, I mean, they move really well. It's almost like an ostrich herl. So soft and supple. So, okay. So now I'm going to tie this in with the shiny side and the concave side facing like out. I want it, the shiny side out towards me. I'm going to tie this in right on the side here. Nip off that little butt piece. And I'm going to take my whip finisher here, and I'm just going to give it 1 or 2 whip finishes just so I don't knock it off when I'm wrapping. I'm also going to give a little bit of a wax to my thread here, because when I tie it down later, I want that on. So now I'm just going to separate, bend it forward a little bit just to break some of the fibers in that core and the stem. I'm just going to separate this, and I'm just going to grab it by the tip with my hackle plier. So I've just separated the tip out, and then fold all these fibers back. You want them folded back. So I'm just giving them a bit of a stroke back and a bit of a pinch as well. I'm pinching, right, to help train them. And then I'll hold it. I'll go around once, right up against that body rib, right? And then make sure that all that material's being stroked back, right up at the last wind. And then same next wind, and one more right up behind that eye. Could I get another one? Yeah, I probably could get one more. Don't worry about how, don't let go of it. Don't worry about how straggly it is at the end, because it's all going to get taken. It's all going to get tied down anyway. So I'm just going to restart that. It didn't break, luckily. It just came out of my hackle plier clip. So again, stroke it all back. 1, 2, 3, 4 turns with this feather. Lock it. Don't worry about how straggly that is. I know it looks like crap right at the moment. Just thumb and 4 fingers. Stroke it all back. And now I'm going to build a little bit of a head here. And I'm using the thread now to force those feathers back, right? I'm going to use the head to help me force those feathers to lay back. Okay. I'm going to do a bit of a whip finish here. And before I cut that off, I'm going to go find my, if I can find, oh, there it is right there, there's the tip. That I was holding on to. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to leave that tip in. It's actually nice and fine. So quite often you have to take the tip out because it's a little bit chunky, right, in comparison. So, but that one actually wasn't. So I'm just going to leave that. I'm going to take a little bit of Sally's right onto my thread. Final whip finish. Nice and tight. Nip off. Stroke these fibers back. Just making sure they're all nicely separated. Okay, and then when this gets into the water, it'll slick back really, really nicely, and that yellow will shine through. And I'm just going to actually slick it better. There, that'll slick right down and almost go almost a lychee type pattern, right? So, but that yellow hot spot, it does help on this fly. You can make that a little bit shorter if you like. And like I said, there's that one here. It is same one, dry without it being slicked back, right? And then you can do them in orange. Again, that's got that orange body rib from Semperfli in it. It's I think this one's called fire. Yeah, it's called fiery brown. This one, it's an orangey brown, really cool color. But I'll do them in, like they've got them in all kinds of different colors. So I like having a little bit of that sparkle in the Cary. Carys traditionally don't have a lot of sparkle in them, or a lot of they're more of a natural fly. But I like having that a little bit of that sparkle coming through the underbody, right? Because when this orange one is slicked back, right? It's pretty cool because that orange that comes out, right? That orange fiery brown, whatever they call it, really stands out. So, alrighty. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that. You can also do this one just so you guys know if you want to have it. You can put a bead on it. I like actually controlling, especially on my searching patterns, I like controlling my depth, my descent with my fly line, not with a bead. So I don't like that undulating motion when I'm trolling. I don't troll that often, but when I go to a new lake that I don't know that I've never been to or anything like that, I like taking at least one stroll around to see, where my structure is and where my fish may hang out, shallows, that kind of thing, right? So that's why I like throwing on leeches and carries and spratlys and things like that. So, okay, tie lines, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you did, thumbs up. If you subscribe, thank you. If you have not, consider doing so. I come out with videos 3 times a week. And I will be doing another. I did a 1,000 member subscriber giveaway a few weeks ago, and it's come up to 1,200 almost now. So once we hit 2,000, I'm going to do hopefully a bigger one. I'm going to try to get some tools, some tying materials, that kind of stuff. So, all right, spread, share, let everybody know. Tie lines, guys.